Greetings, one and all, and welcome to Volume 1, Episode 1 of the all-new original NFL Talk series, Team by Team Previews. Today on the podcast, we are previewing an NFL team that has held its division rivals at gunpoint year in and year out, and consistently stolen the postseason treasure. Yes, it's none other than the New England Patriots. However, this year, the tables have turned just slightly. But it's not their division rivals who are holding the Patriots in check, but rather Roger Goodell and the NFL itself. Deflategate just will not go away. In case you haven't heard, this is the original series team-by-team previews that I've just started up. I'm recording this July 31st, so by the time you get it, it's going to be Monday, August 1st. And we're going to be recording team-by-team previews all throughout the month of August up until September 1st. We got 32 teams, 31 days in August, and just tack the last one on in September. The shows will vary in length, although I plan to have them all center somewhere around 10 to 15 minutes each, although that will depend on how interesting the team we discuss is and how much news they've got centered around them at the time. Talking about the New England Patriots today, and you can check out, of course, all these shows on SoundCloud, YouTube, and Spreaker, NFL Talk with Caleb Snido. We're talking about the Patriots today, and what better way to kick things off than to talk about the zombie that is Deflategate. Everyone loves Deflategate, except if you're a Patriots fan. That's not entirely accurate. That's a little bit of an exaggeration, but Deflategate is something that just will not go away. It just won't. It's here whether you like it or not, and it's here to stay. It's been about a year and a half since the alleged deflation of footballs in the AFC Championship game between the Patriots and the Colts. But only now is Tom Brady receiving his punishment. Brady's going to accept the 4-game suspension, which he should have done already because he knew it was going to come to him. He knew it was coming to him. I mean, I don't see how Brady could have thought that he was going to somehow get away from Deflategate. Call it what you will, like it or not, but it's going to stay with Brady for the rest of his life. And that's the sad thing. I saw a meme the other day that, on second thought, as I'm talking about it right now, I'm not going to share because it could probably offend some people and push some people's buttons, rub them the wrong way. But it was pretty amusing, and this is just something that Tom Brady is never going to shake off. So it's going to be Jimmy Garoppolo at the helm for the New England Patriots, the first month of the season. And checking out here the Patriots' schedule, they'll kick things off at the Cardinals, and then they're home for the next 3 games to the Dolphins, Texans, and Bills. So they got 2 divisional games in there. The Jets don't have to face, or I should say, don't get to face a Tom Brady-less Patriots team, but the Dolphins and Bills will, with a chance to take a victory. And as I'm looking in here at their schedule for the first month, to be honest, I expect the Patriots to lose with or without Tom Brady in Week 1 at Arizona. I don't see them winning that. I think despite how good the Patriots are, I think the Cardinals are just a stacked team this year. And I know Carson Palmer's getting up there, but Brady is older. I know Brady plays like a little kid, and Carson Palmer kind of plays like an old man. Not like an old man, but you get what I'm saying. I still think in Arizona the Cardinals take the cake. I'm sort of expecting in either the Bills or the Dolphins game, I'm sort of looking more like the Bills game is what I'm expecting. I'm expecting a loss in there. I could see them going 3-1, but I expect it to be 2-2. Because I think it's going to take a little while for Jimmy Garoppolo to get comfortable under the bright lights. Because we got 2 primetime games in there against the Cardinals and the Texans. Who knows? Maybe against the Texans they lose. Either way, it'll be interesting to see Jimmy Garoppolo and how the first month of the season will play out for the New England Patriots. It appears that Tom Brady will, however, be receiving most of the first team reps. It's out of Roto World in the Patriots training camp. Brady suspended for the first 4 games of 2016, but he still needs his reps. The focus will shift to Garoppolo as Week 1 approaches, but the early part of camp should look pretty similar to past years, with Brady running the first team offense. Brady can practice and compete in preseason games up until September 3rd. After that, he won't be allowed at the team facility for 4 weeks. Look, Tom Brady's going to be fine. Stop sweating it. They make it off to a rough start, but think about it. Is 12-4 good enough to win the division? Because even if Garoppolo face plants, which I don't think he will, I think they'll at least go at 500 over the first month. Is 12-4 good enough to win the division? Historically, yes. I don't remember the last time that a team's gone 12-4 and not won the division. If Tom Brady comes back, he can pick up an 0-4 Patriots team and run with it. That's just how good Tom Brady is. You may not like him, but you gotta respect him, because that is just something he can do. The players surrounding Garoppolo and Brady, however, will be key, especially within the first 4 weeks. And 2 of the most important offensive players next to Tom Brady are struggling with injuries. The Patriots recently put their running back Dion Lewis with an ACL injury and Julian Edelman with foot surgeries on the PUP list. They should both be able to come back, but Julian Edelman's injury is a little bit more concerning. And we're not being told any news of where the players are in their recoveries, Edelman or Lewis. But it concerns me a little bit that they're both on the PUP list. First, on Dion Lewis, it looks like he's going to be activated onto the 90-man roster within a few weeks, if not sooner. That's out of Roto World as well. But Edelman does look like he'll return soon, but it looks like his injury is a little bit more complicated, a little bit more complex because he had multiple foot surgeries. But he looks like his recovery is going fairly well. So I'm expecting that Edelman and Lewis should be both back to 100% when they come out in the field in Week 1 with Jimmy Garoppolo. Speaking of Garoppolo, his teammates recently praised him as a quote-unquote leader. And they're, quote, very confident, unquote, in Garoppolo. That is not just noise, that is news. Because you need someone who can be a leader in the place of Tom Brady. You're going to have someone out there who's as good as Tom Brady but isn't a leader. They're not going to do very well. You need someone who is a leader. And for Patriots fans, that should be good news that the rest of the team is praising Garoppolo as a leader. I think Garoppolo is going to be fine. But it will be key to monitor Dion Lewis and Julian Edelman in the coming weeks. LeGarrette Blount is also a guy to keep in mind because he might not even be on the roster come week. The Patriots running back coach says that he wants to see more consistency from LeGarrette Blount. And I don't really blame him. Especially when you got a guy like Dion Lewis on the team who can do it all. Now, granted, Blunt's got the height. He's 6 foot. I know that's not much, but hey, Lewis is 5'8". I'm taller than Dion Lewis. But I don't think it's a given that Blunt's going to make the 53-man roster. That's something to monitor as well. In fantasy, and I'm going to keep an eye on a few fantasy aspects of this as we go along here. Dion Lewis, he is a clear-cut running back 2 for me. If not a high-end RB2. I like Dion Lewis in fantasy, and he is a guy that I'd be willing to go out of my way to draft. The other guys that you got on the team for Jimmy Garoppolo, they don't really ring a bell, I wouldn't think, for a lot of you guys. I mean, I know a few of the players, but who's the next guy? Danny Amendola. Of course, you know he is. But then you got Chris Hogan, Keyshawn Martin, Nate Washington. I mean, these are not stellar wide receivers. Hey, Washington's old. Chris Hogan hasn't made much of a splash coming out from Buffalo. So Rob Gronkowski is going to have to bring his A game, as he always does. But there's been a rumor that there's a new contract in the works for Rob Gronkowski. According to NFL.com's Mike Garafolo, Rob Gronkowski's agents are working with the team on a new deal. Which really was going to happen, evidently, if you think about it. I mean, any team that has Rob Gronkowski, the best tight end in football ever, I'm going to go so far as to say that, ever, they're going to have to re-sign him at some point. And Gronkowski, his play as a safety blanket for Garoppolo in the first month is going to be a key for the New England Patriots. And down the road, too, but especially in the first month. Towards the end of each podcast, there's two things I want to do as staples for every single podcast in this series. I'm going to give out my X Factor for the team this year. A team that can turn the tables and turn the fortunes of the team, for better or for worse. And then I'll also predict the record. And we're wrapping up here Volume 1, Episode 1, where we preview the New England Patriots. This is team-by-team previews, original series from NFL Talk. So first, I'm going to give you my X Factor. It's a little bit more difficult to find an X Factor for the Patriots because, guys like Tom Brady, even though he's suspended, he'll come back and be his usual self. Rob Gronkowski is going to be his good old self. Julian Edelman, once he gets back from injury, he'll be fine. My X Factor for the New England Patriots is Dion Lewis, because we did not get to see a lot of Dion Lewis in 2014. Because just as he started to break out into that elite running back that many people thought that he could be, he got injured. And then you had LeGarrette Blount vulturing a lot of goal line touchdowns from him. So I think that Dion Lewis is going to be the factor. Can he stay healthy? He's going to be the X Factor. Can he stay healthy is the number one point, I think. Can he stay healthy? And can he also be the top-tier elite running back that the Patriots need him to be, especially in Brady's absence? And then finally, their record prediction, I'm going to give them 11-5. That might seem a little low for some of you, but I think they're going to struggle a bit in the first month, and they're going to lose some games inevitably, even with Tom Brady at the helm later in the season. He's not immortal. He is getting old. That shouldn't affect him much this year, but I'm expecting 11-5. Still good enough for a division win yet again, but I would expect a few teams in the division to challenge them just a little bit. But of course, only time will tell. Thanks for listening to Volume 1, Episode 1, where we preview the New England Patriots on NFL Talk with Caleb Steindale. I hope you'll tune in to the podcast tomorrow, where we'll preview another AFC East team. Check the podcast out, SoundCloud, YouTube, Spreaker, and on social media as well, at NFL Talk with Caleb on Twitter. See you guys later. Peace out.